Have you ever found yourself creating the same training path over and over for every new person on your team? Maybe you hire multiple people for the same role, or you just want consistent onboarding across your department. But duplicating the same steps again and again is tedious, time consuming, and easy to get wrong. Well, not anymore. With training path templates, you can now build one reusable, structured onboarding path and apply it to as many people or groups as you need instantly. No more rebuilding, no more repetitive work, just scalable, consistent onboarding. Today, I'll show you how it works with a real world example. So let's say that you are trying to set up a training path for your customer service managers. With training path templates, I can assemble one path, set the order and pace of learning, and apply it to every new CX rep all in a few clicks. So to get started, from the left-hand navigation, we're going to go and navigate to the training path section under the content tab. Once we get there, we're going to hop on over to the brand new template paths chip. In order to get started, the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and hit create a template. So the very first thing that we're going to be prompted to do is name this template. So I'm going to name this CS Rep Onboarding. And I'm going to go ahead and create a template path. Once you get to this page, you'll see you actually have two options to generate your path template. One is via content and groups, and the other is via a user. So in this example, I'm going to walk through creating it manually via content and groups, but just know if you did already have a CS rep who has an existing training path that's already set up with all of the content that you need in it, you can easily create a training path template from a user's existing content. But for this purpose, we will focus on creating manually. So because templates are built from a mix of groups and individual content, we'll start by adding the groups tied to this role. So first, I'm going to go ahead and look up the everyone group. That is going to be training that all of my CS reps need to get. I'll find the everyone group and I can actually expand to see all of the content associated with this group that will appear in the template. Secondly, we're going to want to add their role specific training content. So let's go ahead and find the customer service manager role group. I'll expand just to quickly check that has all the content I want in it, and I'll select it. Awesome. Now I have the two main groups that all of any user coming in as a customer success representative will need to receive in order to get all of their training. If I had any other content that I was missing from any of these groups that I wanted to ensure is in this training path, I can add those individual pieces of content via this individual assignment tab. For our purposes here, I think everything looks good with the two groups I have, so I'm going to go ahead and click add. Awesome. So boom, you are now dropped into a very similar experience to the individual configuration for training paths. Here, you can set the order of content, you can group topics into different sets, you can add delays, you can force complete an order, and you can add titles. So go ahead and take a moment to fine tune the path so that it mirrors what every new CX rep should learn. So I'm going to go ahead and group this into all of the content for the everyone group. This is something I'll add a title to, like week 1, onboarding. This is all of the content that I want them to see in week 1, and I want them to see the title of this set, so I'll go ahead and turn that little eyeball on. I'd also like them to complete all of this training content in order, and then here I can see all of their role-specific information. So I'm going to say week 2 role training, and I would like them to see this title. And then if I did want to set any sort of, or give them any sort of break between their training, so maybe after they finish our PTO policy here, I want to ensure they actually have 2 days of a bit of a break before they are able to consume the next set of content, I can do that via delays. I will note really quick that if you need to set any specific dates and times for these sets of content to be delivered to the user, you can set that up at the individual user's training path. You can also reorder things here. So let's say that I wanted this piece of content to be consumed first, or you can even reorder the actual sets themselves if you need to. All right, so everything's looking good for me here. I'm going to actually go ahead and preview this so that I can double check to see what my user is going to see on their dashboard. Awesome. So now let's go ahead and make that magic happen. by applying this template to our brand new CS reps who are coming on board. From here, you're going to select which new hires should receive this template. So we have our new hires, Jerry and April, starting with us next week, and I want to make sure they get this path template. So by applying this template, all of the group assignments, all of the group content, and any individual content is going to automatically be added to these users. Also really important to note before I apply that this is a point-in-time application. So any future updates that you make to this template won't automatically update to Jerry and April, but you can always reapply that template at any time to those users. Once applied, you'll see here we have this loading state where you can ensure that this is being applied, and now it is applied. So I'm going to return back to my template path section, and once applied, you'll see that I can see the users who this template has been applied to. I can actually click on their avatars and I can expand to see that, okay, April and Jerry have had this version of the template applied on November 20th. If I need to add anybody else, I also have the option to quick add. So let's say we actually hired someone else. Creed's coming in, and he also needs to get this template. I can apply that template directly from this section and click here to see, again, all of the users who have this version of the path applied. All right, something really fun and important that I want to hit on now is going to be a big time saver. So when you're inviting new users, now that you've set up your path templates, you have the option to add the templates directly to the user from invite. Amazing. So let's go ahead and get Jane Smith all set up, jane@smith.com. She's going to be our new CS rep coming in. And now you'll see that you have the option to add your CS rep onboarding template directly to Jane on invite. So by clicking this, I'll be able to see each of the groups that are attached to this template. By virtue of being part of those groups, this user will get assigned all of that content in those groups. I can see here they'll be part of the everyone and the customer service manager. Everyone's part of everyone, but they'll be automatically added to the customer service manager role group as soon as I hit add. Awesome. And if I just want to double check, I could go look at Jane's new profile and I'll actually see if I visit her training path section that Jane has that training path already applied to her and she's part of the groups that are part of this template. All right, and the last piece of little wisdom that I'll leave y'all with is that templates really are going to work best when you have your groups and your group content already set up and organized. So that's going to be a really important first step to ensure that you have a very seamless setup of your training path templates. You could see here that I already had my CSM group set up with the content assigned to it. Secondly, you can utilize the default path to create your general training order ahead of time, and this will also make building future templates lightning fast, as you'll already have that order kind of preset as you're going in to set up those templates. And with that, that is our brand new Training Path Templates feature. This is a simple, scalable way to kickstart onboarding for multiple users at once without the headache of duplicating training paths. You'll save time, eliminate repetitive setup, and deliver consistent onboarding experiences every time. Thanks so much for watching, and happy creating!